A meeting overseas could have huge implications for our wallets here at home. Tonight, there are hopes of a U.S.-China trade war easing up following talks today between the two world powers. This is the first high-level meeting between the two countries since they started heaping tariffs on one another. And Hannah Brandt is joining us live at the White House tonight. Hannah, are we seeing any signs of a breakthrough between the two sides?
Well, Natasha, they haven't given up on trying to reach a deal, which seems to be a good sign. But no breakthroughs announced either after Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer met with the Vice Premier of China for about 10 hours in Geneva today. The stakes are high for negotiations, with the U.S. currently imposing a 145% tariff on Chinese imports, and China responding with a 125% tax on U.S. goods. Though President Trump says he's open to lowering the tariffs, even pitching a possible new rate.
Put out a number today, 80%, so we'll see how that all works.
Though he says he won't be upset if negotiators don't reach a breakthrough deal.
No, not at all, because we already made a great deal. We're not doing business with China right now.
The president argues the status quo wasn't working for America.
I'm very friendly with President Xi. I have great respect for him and for China, but we can't continue to allow them to do what they did. When I was president, they paid hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs and taxes, and then Biden screwed it all up.
And the White House has made it clear that there will be no deal unless China makes some concessions.
China needs the United States of America. They need our markets. They need our consumer base.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt insists the tariff strategy is already working, pointing to a trade deal the U.S. struck with the U.K. earlier this week.
The announcement of a trade deal with the United Kingdom is a great first step. Again, many said in this room it couldn't be done. Now we are moving forward with many other countries.
Negotiations between the U.S. and China are scheduled to continue tomorrow, and the first wave of ships from China subject to those new steep 145% tariffs just arrived at U.S. ports, according to CNBC, meaning shoppers may see impacts on prices soon. Natasha?
We'll be watching that here at home. And Hannah, meanwhile, we also have word of a ceasefire between India and Pakistan, actively mediated by the U.S. following the two countries firing missiles at each other today. And these, of course, are both nuclear-armed nations, so any escalation is being closely monitored here. What can you tell us about the latest there?
Well, President Trump initially announced the ceasefire this morning on his Truth Social, saying, as you said, that the U.S. mediated those talks and congratulating both countries for, quote, using common sense and great intelligence, is what he said. But then just a few hours later, both India and Pakistan leaders from there said that the other was violating the ceasefire deal. So it really seems that ceasefire is currently on shaky ground.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.